Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Voices from the Mausoleum. Tomorrow is Mike's birthday. So I thought it would be fun to do a getting to know Mike video.
And you get to know a little more about me. Something I know you've always wanted.
Everybody's been in the shadows waiting. So we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to talk about his favorite horror movies. Mm-hmm. We've got a list of questions that a couple people asked. And then we're going to talk about some stuff about him that is non-editing or horror related.
Yeah. So it's going to be fun. You're going to get to... you won't understand me more. But least you'll at least know more. So I guess we'll kick it off with the 5 favorite horror movies. Now, disclaimer: never once have I claimed to be a fan of horror.
That's true.
As a matter of fact, for most of my life, I've been abhorrent of horror. But we'll get into that a little bit more later on in the video.
Yeah.
So my first one is The Others.
Yep.
With Nicole Kidman and other people not named Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think I know any of the other actors or actresses.
It doesn't matter. It's Nicole Kidman. She freaking...
Oh, the dad is somebody famous too, but I don't remember his name.
Who cares? He dies.
Yeah, he's not in it for very long. He's in it for like 15 minutes.
He's in for about the same amount of time as a Disney parent, so...
Just in the middle of the movie instead of at the beginning.
True.
Yeah.
So The Others is a wartime, in case you haven't seen it, there might be some spoilers, but it's a 21-year-old movie, so if you haven't seen it by now...
Get with the program.
Tough luck. So it is a wartime piece, and Nicole Kidman moves to a house with her children, and I mean it's been like 10 years since I've seen the last time I saw it, so I might be sparse on the details. But they move to this house, and strange stuff starts happening in the house, and the children start drawing like really weird people.
The daughter.
The daughter
starts drawing weird stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. She walks into Maggie is Nicole Kidman's character's name, and she walks into her daughter's room one day, and she sees this old decrepit woman, and she says, "Where is my daughter?" And she says, "I am your daughter." And it's just super creepy, and one of the things that I love...
And it sounds exactly like that. Like, exactly.
Yeah. It's like the daughter's voice with this old lady.
And she's got, like, her eyes are whited out and her face is, like, wrinkly and decrepit. But she's still the size of the daughter. Right. In the daughter's gown or whatever.
Yeah. But the weird thing is, like, that's the only what I would consider to be a jump scare in that movie. Mm-hmm. Everything else is just psychological and atmospheric. And it's so, so great.
Yeah.
And then at the end, again, if you haven't seen it, spoilers, but in the end, she realizes that there are ghosts in the house, but they're the ghosts.
It's them.
They all died.
Yeah.
And so it's this this goings on is this new family that's moved into the house. So you see an entire horror film from the ghost's perspective. And it's just really cool. Just kind of puts it on its ear.
Yeah.
I love movies that have a genuinely unexpected feeling.
Yeah.
And it is, by all accounts, a very, very unexpected. Like, the first time I saw it, I was...
blown away.
Yeah.
I was the same way. I saw that one in theaters.
Yeah. And you're just like, what the...
Yeah, because you really don't expect it.
Yeah. And Kidman just absolutely carries that. Like, just it.
She does a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
really she's like one of those things where they focus on like the fact that like the dad went away to war and he never came back. Like, and you don't know why she sees him eventually until much later. But like, so she's just alone in this house with her 2 kids, and It's very bizarre. It's really good. That one kind of aged well too. That one was like
it's really
it's
it
good.
Really has. Like
it's really good.
It's not. I wouldn't say that it's very topical as far as like current events or something. That's one of the.
Oh no, because it's post war like
yeah.
kind of.
That's one of the really good things about period pieces that I like is
right.
like there's the message tends to age well because the message stays consistent throughout.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, the other's fantastic piece.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The next one I want to talk about is probably the most recent one that I've seen, and actually just very recently made the list, is Scream.
Oh, right.
So Scream not only is like the last one that I've seen in this list, but it was also the first one that I've seen. Like, it was one of the very first horror movies that I ever watched, at least for modern horror. I had seen, like, Dracula, Nosferatu, the Wolfman. I will say, while I say I'm not a fan of horror.
Careful, because if you say horror too fast, it sounds like you said horror, and then you just said that you're a whore of. So just be mindful. Horror.
We all are, Angel. We just have our price. Anyway, so I'm a huge fan of the classics, the classic creature features, Black Lagoon, Frankenstein, all of that, and Young Frankenstein. With that, but yeah, no, it's I just couldn't really get myself to like modern horror, and it took a while to realize, but it was because I watched Scream as the first like modern horror movie that I've ever seen. And the thing is, Scream, while a horror movie, is also a parody of like every other horror movie. Like, it is,
specifically slashers,
right?
Yeah,
and so the movie Scary Movie is like a satirical look at Scream, which makes it absolutely ridiculous because you're looking at a satire of a satire.
Yeah.
And but so when I watched Scream, I didn't see it with that mindset. I was just like, this is really bad. This is bad acting. This is bad everything. And I just did not enjoy it.
Yeah.
So then she and my wife Melinda were getting ready to go see Scream 5.
Yeah, it's not called Scream 5, but yeah, Scream 2022.
They went like the iPad route.
Yeah,
and then anyway.
Yeah.
So we ended up watching Scream again, and after watching it, I realized that the reason why I thought the acting was so bad and the story was so bad is because it was intended to be that way, because it was supposed to be a black comedy. It was supposed
yeah.
Matthew Lillard is one of my favorite actors, like, of all time.
No.
And I still have not seen any of the new Scooby-Doo movies or TV shows where he's not the voice of Shaggy, just because they did him dirty. They really did him dirty, but that's another show. But, in the when they're stabbing each other, and he's just like, I'm dying, man.
My mom's gonna be so mad at me.
It's just like that kind of made me realize, is like, okay, this is a movie that is both serious but also not taking itself very seriously, and I really got to appreciate the nuance. And it took a couple of decades for me to get there, but now I appreciate it for what it actually is.
Yeah, it's very self-aware.
Yeah. And then and going into that, speaking of long-term franchises, Halloween,
the original.
Yes. Now I watched Halloween after I watched Scream, so I wanted,
the first time.
Yeah. So I wanted to not like it, but it really fed into those classic creature features, those classic horror movies. One of my favorite horror movies of all time, and it's not on this list because I have my reasons, but it's House on Haunted Hill, and it almost made the list.
The original?
The original with Vincent Price.
I love him so much.
I didn't put it on this list
so good.
because I have my own Vincent Price list.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like,
you know, they're redoing the Usher House of Usher.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and it's going to be done by Bloomhouse, I think.
Okay. So then it should be pretty good.
Yeah. I think that's right.
But House on Haunted Hill and the original 13 Ghosts too, like, you got this psychological terror you didn't see. Like, with the new House on Haunted Hill and the new 13 Ghosts, you see everything
it's
a lot.
oversaturation. Yeah.
But with the other ones, you didn't see it, and it was just Vincent Price being creepy for 2 hours, and Vincent Price is creepy.
So
when
creepy.
he's not trying to be creepy.
I know, even when he's the good guy, like in, it's not called I Am Legend. Oh my God. Last Man on Earth.
Yeah,
Last Man on Earth, he's the hero. He's like this doctor. He's like the good guy, and you're just like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, so it's really, Vincent Price is just completely on its own level, and that's really what Halloween looked like. Like, it really, you could tell it pulled from the old masters of horror, and it really, really just did a terrific job. It didn't scare me in the sense that it, like, made me, look over my shoulder a lot,
Right.
but it was just like, wow, this is insane. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I watch it every chance I get now.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I love the psychological thrillers over the slashers. Like, Saw will not even come close to this list because I don't like those movies. I don't like snuff films like that. But I know.
You sound like Reed. It's torture porn. No, it isn't. I love Saw.
Not,
I love the franchise of Saw, and I think that Saw, by definition, is psychological horror.
So,
like,
I will say that had the casting been slightly different, I might have a different opinion.
is it because what's his name? Isn't it Wesley?
Carrie
That's the one.
Elwes.
That's the one.
Yeah, he's in there, and I love him. He's a phenomenal actor, but I've always seen his comedic
He's
work,
not.
so
Yeah,
really,
he's not as like convincing in like a serious role. Like, but yeah, that movie is phenomenal, especially when you know like a lot of the stuff of like what they had to work with, like doing most of the movie in one room. Like, Saw the first one has always been impressive.
I thought he did a very good job. That's not a debate. He did a wonderful job. It's just that in my mind, I could not separate him from, and that's one of the problems with typecasting. I want to see it. There's a movie that I'm planning on seeing soon, Becky, with King and Queens. Kevin James. He plays this like neo-Nazi serial killer dude. Yeah, and
he's really funny.
Yeah, it also has Joel McHale. So you're like, oh,
but it's a serious movie?
A serious movie. Like, it is a legit serious movie, and you got those two, and you're like, what? Anyway, so I'll have a report on that later. But I do want to get more into the insanity things. I am a big fan of a man from New England named H.P. Lovecraft. I'm also a fan of another guy from up there, Edgar Allan Poe. He's a great author if you haven't heard of him. I know he's not really well known amongst the community. H.P. Lovecraft has this way of writing and way of speaking, and I will say a lot of his stuff does have a lot of racist undertones. It's more of a product of the time than anything racist, but there's some weird stuff. One of my favorite short stories to read from him, by the way, is the Dunwich Horror. Really, really good, and gives you kind of a primer into the Elder Gods without really getting into like the classic ones like Cthulhu, which I love Cthulhu, but he's just a little overplayed.
That's because he's cool.
Well,
but he's not the only one. He's just the most well known for some reason.
Lionsgate got the rights to one of his stories and made a movie about it. It's called Beyond the Wall of Sleep. Now, if you want to watch something that's absolutely insane for 2 hours and you start watching it, you're like, wow, this is crazy. And in the end, you're like, I have no idea what I just saw. but somehow it changed me. Like, watch Beyond the Wall of Sleep. So it doesn't go into as much detail as the story. The story is just it's unadaptable to
film,
or any sort of other media besides writing. Like, that's really cool. But they did take quite a few liberties, but they did keep true to it for the most part. They had it's set in a mental hospital, sanatorium, I think it's called, and the doctors and the nurses are just as crazy as the patients, and they come to this tribunal, words are hard, tribunal, to find out whether or not they accept this new patient from West Virginia. He's an Appalachian, and they use the term Appalachian to describe the person, the culture that he comes from. And he has a face on his back. It's called Amducius. And after a while, people start hearing voices from the face, and things get really weird. There's one scene in there. This is an older movie too, like probably 18, 19 years old. There's a scene in the movie where they perform a lobotomy on somebody, on a nurse, I believe, and she's just sitting there, just chatting, and the guy just cuts open her skull and just takes the skull off and like messes around in her brain. Crazy stuff. And it's black and white. It's just really, it's hard to explain, because it's just, if you've read a lot of H.P. Lovecraft, you understand instantly why I can't explain it. If you haven't read any Lovecraft, please do so, because it's phenomenal. And I will say that I do like, I know they're coming out with I think Sci-Fi Channel's coming out with a Lovecraft. I know there's a Lovecraft Country series. I think there's another one that's coming out.
The other one, the one that's out, is on HBO, I think. Yeah.
So one of the really cool things that I love about H.P. Lovecraft, a lot of horror authors have kept a very close lid on their universes. You've got the King world, Stephen King's universe. You've got but with Lovecraft,
it's too old.
Well, not only that, even when he was alive, he would collaborate with other authors. And give them access and rights to the Lovecraft universe.
So now people can kind of do whatever they want with it.
And he made a point to make most of it open, or I say open source. I'm in IT, so open source to me is common.
I'm not helpful.
Public domain.
Oh, public domain. Okay.
Again, words are hard.
You said common, and I was like, knowledge.
Then I was thinking common license, which is another IT term.
Not the right rabbit hole.
Oh, guys, words. But public domain.
Yes.
Most of his stuff was public domain, especially his universe, so that people could keep writing on it, keep collaborating, keep growing the universe. That's why you have, so many Elder Gods. That's why you have tabletop games like Call of Cthulhu, and video games now, Call of Cthulhu video games. And so you've got this healthy, vibrant. Those two words I've never really used in describing a Lovecraft universe, but healthy and vibrant, and growing universe, and it's really, really good. And I love that he's done that. And there are people, I do know that there are people that are really against that type of stuff. Like, he's got a specific work or something, and someone adds onto it or creates another story around it, and call it a sequel or call it an adaptation, or they get offended or whatever from it. Let me just say this: that's what Lovecraft wanted. He didn't want his stuff to die with him. He wanted it to keep living, and going on. So, personal opinion: celebrate those sequels, celebrate those adaptations, celebrate those video games based on stuff that may not be what he exactly wrote, but is in the same spirit.
Yeah.
And for my last one, we're just kind of rapid firing these. For my last one, is from another great master, Alfred Hitchcock. He is. I could go on and on about his stuff. I don't necessarily consider his work horror per se, but it's definitely thriller. He is thriller material, and with that is Rear Window. Rear Window, starring Jimmy Stewart, who, by the way, is just one of the greatest actors that you'll ever see. He can do so many things. One of my favorite movies that he's in is a movie called Arsenic and Old Lace. So Arsenic and Old Lace is about a bed and breakfast run by these two widows who kill people.
Like you do.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hilarious movie. I highly recommend watching it. But anyway, back to Rear Window. Rear Window, so Jimmy Stewart's character is, I think he was in a car accident. I can't quite remember. Again, this is like a 70-year-old movie.
I feel like that really does sound familiar. I'm gonna look it up. Go ahead.
But anyway, he breaks his leg, and he's in a wheelchair, and his significant other gives him he's a photographer by trade, but his significant other gives him a telescope, so he can watch things from his window while he can't go outside.
Okay.
And so he ends up watching the apartment building across from him. It's like an old couple, a newlywed couple, and like this other like toxic couple, and some different people. He makes up stories about them. He gives them different names, like the Lovebirds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then he witnesses someone get murdered. And he tries to figure out the murder while also questioning his own sanity. Like, did I actually see what I saw?
Mm-hmm.
Really, really good movie. And it's again back to like The Others and Halloween and Scream, sort of. It feeds on the psychosis of humanity. It feeds on it makes you wonder what you're seeing even real. There's a really good movie about it, about stuff like that. A movie called Gaslight, which is funny enough where the term gaslight comes from. It's Ethel Merman is the main character, and she marries this guy like after knowing him for like a week, and she tries to convince her that she's going crazy, like by like dimming the lights in the house, which at the time were gas, hence the term gaslight. And then saying that no, the lights aren't dim. That's just your eyes. That you're just imagining that. And so that's a really cool like little psychological thriller that I highly recommend. But Rear Window is probably the first one that I watched where I was like questioning my own reality. Sometimes is like, am I seeing what I'm actually seeing, or am I not? And for a while I actually had to like, sometimes I would catch myself and be like, did I really see what I saw, or did I really hear what I heard? And then which has probably saved me from a few arguments, but it is what it is. But yeah, so those are my top 5. We'll call them most influential. Sure.
Just 5, horror movies that you got something out of.
Yeah, sure. There we go.
Yeah.
And so that's the 5 that I chose. If you like them, let me know. If you disagree, then You're entitled to your opinion, no matter how wrong it is.
That's how I feel about found footage.
So, I guess we'll talk a little bit more about me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, but anyway, so like I mentioned, I'm in IT, as a career. I do a lot in like Windows stuff. I fix people's computers, but I also build stuff, and it's a lot of fun. I work for a really large beverage company. Not gonna know names, but if you know, you know. And
if you know where we live, it's easy to figure it out.
Yeah. And yeah, so I've been doing that for nearly 2 decades now, and I actually, funny enough, I went to school for anthropology because I am a huge history nut, which is probably another reason why I tend to gravitate towards historical pieces and epic pieces.
Yeah, just things not modern.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I went to school for anthropology. Had a lot of fun, probably a lot more fun than I should have. And then I came back home, and my dad said, "Well, take some time, and in that time, go get a job." Started working at a call center. I won't say that I liked it, but I was good at it, and ended up getting promoted through it, and then moved on. Tried to go back to college for anthropology. Realized that I might as well stick with what I'm good at and what I'm actually making money with, and kind of fell in love with IT. So I've been doing that for quite some time. I'll probably continue doing that some more. And then something that people who know me personally know very well, because I won't shut the hell up about it, but those that don't know me that well, you might be interested to know that I sing. I sing, and
what? I didn't say anything.
You don't have to. I sing barbershop harmony. So I sing with a few other people. We do some cool stuff. I might put in a quick clip of me singing, if she allows it. It is her channel after all.
Beauty and the Beast, tale as old as time, old time.
So I've also I also play D&D. I've played since 2000, starting with 3rd edition. Woohoo! Skipped 4th edition. If you know, you know.
I've always heard that. The only one I have is 5th. That's the only one I have. I have a digital of it.
5th is a fantastic rule set.
But it went kind of back to 3, right? Like it got like the problems with 4 kind of like.
So the problem with 4 is it tried to make a video game out of a tabletop game. So
I've never seen it. I just always hear from people who've been playing it and doing D&D way longer than I've had knowledge of it.
Right. So I've had the opportunity to play all but the very 1st edition, because couldn't find any books for that. But I played Advanced D&D 2nd edition, 3rd edition, and then 4th edition, 5th edition.
I think one of my favorite memories, of very few, when we worked at the V company, was I was downstairs in the break room, and Dave Hudson, who was our CIO, CIO, who was one of those, and he was like, oh, he was always so friendly, and he was like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And I was like, playing, I have a D&D game, because it was back when we were going to that game we did together, and she who shall not be named, And he was like, and I was so like, I felt so weird about that, like saying that, because I just didn't like, he drove like a super fancy car. His hair was always like, so you just had like a thing in your head of like what he was like in like real life, and he kind of like chuckled, and then he like started telling me about the last character he made, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
That's awesome.
I wasn't prepared for that. He's like, I probably still have my character sheets, and I was like, what? That's in place. D&D, that's awesome.
So CIO, who ended up going to a company. He ended up leaving there and went to another company, became the CEO of that company. And just to show, no matter if you're a CEO or some phone jockey that's resetting your password, we're all massive nerds.
It does go to show that, because like you would not know. Like I almost lied about what my plans were, and I almost said something totally different. And then when I said that, and his like little ears perked up, I was like, "What the fuck? This is the craziest conversation."
And funny story to that. So there is a legendary actor whose first leading role helped create the satanic scare that ended up getting D&D blacklisted so many places and gave it its, like, I wouldn't say cult status, but perceived cult status.
Yeah.
It's Tom Hanks.
Damn, I would have never guessed that.
Yep.
I was sitting here thinking, I was like, who is it?
I'll put the title down below because I don't remember it right offhand. And, that's the beauty of video editing, is I can make reality whatever I want it to be. But yeah, no, that's, singing, D&Ding,
being a dad,
being an editor, being a standard nerd. IT Crowd. It's a fantastic show.
It is 100% all nerd stuff too. That's so true.
Yeah.
You don't do anything cool. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I obviously at least think D&D is cool because I've done it before.
Well, I actually used to make chainmail.
Stop it.
No, seriously.
I can't decide if that's the same thing as like helping him make a dress for a Civil War reenactment or not, but I feel like it could be kind of similar. A lot less work as far as making a dress, but
yeah. I did used to make chainmail back in the day, when I had like time.
Look, when zombies happen, you're gonna have to pick that skill back up.
Yeah. Because they can't really pierce. It's mostly slashing and bludgeoning damage. Anyway.
Unless we are completely incorrect, and when it finally happens, they'll be like crazy smart, and then we're fucked.
Maybe. Who knows? Zombies could be around us right now.
It definitely feels that way sometimes.
So, you've got like shows like Santa Clarita Diet and iZombie that have zombies that aren't dumb.
I like iZombie.
I do too.
She's so cute.
So great.
Yeah, so cute. Love her.
I'm full disclosure. I've even watched those like Christmas Prince movies with her in them. Mm-hmm. She's like the only good thing about it.
She's
the rest
pretty
of
cute.
it is just absolute garbage, but she does a really good job.
Yeah, she's cute. I like her.
And I mostly watch them because my wife loves Hallmark movies because she is
a total sap. A total sap.
She really is. Love her, but she is.
Yep.
So I guess it's Q&A time.
Yeah.
Q&A with Mike and Angel. So, first question.
Let's start with the rudest one first.
Yeah. How do you put up with Angel? And I do that by tabling this question and going to the next one.
I said, did you see the chain?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm a delight, damn it. And he was like, I wasn't asking you. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, so we'll answer that in a minute. So when will I start my own channel? I have no idea, because I have no idea what the hell to talk about. Like, my interest range is infinite. Like, I could talk about editing. I could talk about sports. And I actually have talked about sports.
You do know a lot about sports. That's true. I never know what you're talking about.
I get on probably about a dozen podcasts a year for the past couple of years to talk about football mostly. I've been on a couple of baseball ones, but mostly football. We talk, NFL drafts, preseason, postseason, stuff like that. I really enjoy it. I have a lot of fun to give like hot and spicy takes, but still end up landing them better than like Stephen A. Smith and Colin Cowherd. Amateurs. But yeah, so maybe I may, but it won't. I don't think it's gonna be one of those like super popular ones. It's gonna be one of those. It's just like
let's just do this because I want to talk about it.
I might name it like kitchen drawer. Because
it's gonna be like everybody has.
Yeah, everyone has that one drawer that's got like
nothing,
a screwdriver,
just random ass shit in it. Old Chick-fil-A sauces,
right? Your tax returns from 2014, like, and
that's
then
so true.
A bit of string and a pen cap.
It's true.
So yeah, I might start my own channel someday. I just don't know when, or what I would talk about, or if I would really have anything. Hell, I might put up a YouTube short one day that's just like a dad joke, because I do make a lot of those. Very few of them are actually good, but they're fun for me.
My God, Ron did the grapes, the duck, let me start that again. Ron, you don't have to cut that out. I'm just saying. Ron was asking Candace the other day about the duck, the grape, you know what I'm talking about, the video, the grapes. Yeah. And she was like, what? Like she had no idea. And he goes, are you kidding me that you don't know what that is? He goes, you know the grapes. I said, with the duck? He said, yes. I was like, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. And Mike is the reason that I know exactly what you're talking about. And I don't like it. And we're not going there. So she doesn't need to know right now. Like, anyway, I digress. Speaking of things that are torment for other people.
I do have one question about that. Did he waddle away? Waddle.
Oh, shit.
Anyway. All right. Yeah, that's another fun video to watch.
Steve is such a supportive bear. He's like, you should make your own channel. Everyone should have like a YouTube channel. Everyone should do things that they love and do,
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
That was Steve's question. That was why I said that.
Yes. So thank you, Steve, for that thought out and thoughtful question.
Yeah, Adam, take some notes from Steve.
And the official answer is
maybe.
So, what is your favorite thing about editing? Who is this from?
Me.
You. Okay.
I was trying to think of things that people might want to know. Because we moved up when we were going to film this. Yeah. So I was going to repost it and like try to get some more. So I was trying to think of a couple things that would be interesting to know. Yeah. So that's where I got that from.
So my favorite thing about editing is a little bit later. There's actually a question that I want to answer before I get into my favorite and least favorite thing. So.
This was your question, Angel. Anyway.
But I will answer them before Adam's question.
Adam has to sit through the entire video just tapping his fingers. Okay.
All right. So Tasha asks,
yeah,
how did you get started with video editing? And the answer to that is yes. So when Angel came to Melinda about a YouTube channel idea, which is now their other channel, I was asked to look into video editing software, and the rest of the stuff too, like the camera, the mic, and all that good stuff. And I found this NLE or non-linear editor, which is what these soft pieces of soft applications are called. Called DaVinci Resolve. DaVinci Resolve ticked all of our boxes, especially our budget, because our budget at the time was free or cheaper. And it still is free or cheaper, but at the time it was also free or cheaper. So I looked at it and I was like, I played around with it a little bit. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is pretty easy to use. It's really, really powerful. As a matter of fact, some studio companies use, or some movie, like cinematography production companies, use DaVinci Resolve for their stuff. As a matter of fact, Disney, most of their editing work is done on DaVinci Resolve, if I remember correctly. I know that there was a feature piece about the Lion King, the new Lion King, that was mostly done with DaVinci Resolve. Really, really good application from Blackmagic Designs. Definitely recommend it if you're looking into getting into doing video editing. A lot of people will say Adobe, the Adobe Premiere.
But that's...
The problem with Adobe Premiere is that it is an NLE, but it's only an NLE. In order to do any of your audio editing, any of your special effects, color keying, chroma keying, and stuff, like taking out green screens and stuff like that, you have to load the project into another application like Lightroom or one of their other apps, and you have to pay for all of this.
Yeah.
DaVinci Resolve, your color grading, your audio, your special effects, all of it is in one application. It's all right there. And also, you don't have to pay for... If you want to go with the premium version, it's called DaVinci Resolve Studio. It's $300, and that's it. You don't have to pay a monthly fee like you do Adobe. And it even brings in like machine learning and AI stuff, so you can do some automated things like noise reduction, noise elimination, other CG stuff that you can do with it, and auto grading and whatnot.
Yeah.
Really, really cool application. Anyway, getting off my soapbox. I got started with video editing because of that channel, because I showed them this application. I said, that looks fantastic for you to use to edit our videos. Now, I don't think Angel is going to argue with me when I say that of the three of us, I am the most technologically adept.
No, that's true.
So it kind of made sense for me to do it.
Yeah. So when Tasha asked this question in our group chat, I sent a gif of a whip because it was kind of like a request, but I know Melinda really well, so it was probably more of like a, I need you to do this or we will fuck it up.
Yeah, basically. And I already put like hours of research into how.
Yeah, you were pretty invested by that point.
Yeah, and I was just like, if you ruin this, I will be so upset with you.
Be angry.
I will be angry, and you do not want to see me angry. Because it's just going to be me, more passive aggressive than usual. And while it won't be like horrific, it'll just be really annoying. But anyway, so that's how I got started. Now, my favorite thing about video editing, I think it's the ability to be creative and problem solve without having like specific things that I have to do. Like when I troubleshoot somebody's computer issue, even though I know what I'm doing, there's always steps that have to be taken. And anybody who's in IT knows this. Like, you may not think of them as steps because you do them by rote by now, but there's still steps that you take. There's still questions that you ask. There's still a structure to what you do.
Yeah, I can see that.
With video editing, there is a structure in some things, but there are other ways to be creative. And I can kind of look at a canvas, look at the frame as a canvas and be like, how can I make this more engaging? But yeah, so I like doing subtle stuff. And when we were working on Carrie, I got to really play around. Like, I watched several scenes in Carrie. I didn't watch the whole movie because that's a lot to watch at one time. But I was going back and I was watching certain clips and color grading the scenes to the original movie, so it had the same same feel, palette. Until we went to when the blood came in, because in the movie everything kind of takes a red shift once the blood comes in.
Yes, it has a tint to it. Yeah,
I went a different way and went like super saturated colors, like make it like hyper realistic. So as the blood comes down, the color, and it's only like takes half a second for the colors to change, but I really really enjoy doing that. If you watch it and look for it, you see it as very apparent. If you don't see it, you will notice a change, but you won't necessarily see the change.
What it is. Yeah.
But stuff like that is really, really my favorite thing. My least favorite thing is when we get into some of these tangents and they go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It gets kind of like, okay, stop here. Now I have to go back and see where the hell she needs to stop. Okay, that. Alright, cut all that out. So some of it can be, like with the process and stuff, like I said, there is still a process. And sometimes that process can get a little tedious. Not that much, but it can sometimes get a bit tedious. I think right now though, the thing that I hate the most about editing is the fact that videos take data space, and so now that we're 60, 70 videos in, maybe more, maybe closer to 80 videos in, and the other channel has like 150 or 160, something like that.
Yeah.
Space is becoming a little bit of an issue. So I'll be getting another hard drive soon, and then I guess I'll get to this other question: how do you put up with Angel?
I know you got to answer do you like horror more now?
No, I'll answer that last.
Oh, you will? Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be a good one to close on.
Oh, that's right. You did say that.
So, how do I put up with Angel? Has working on voices made me more of a horror fan? So, you'll be disappointed to hear that my answer is no.
Yeah.
And it's not because... It's not that I love horror more now or love it less. I've just... I don't call myself a fan because I don't go out looking for horror movies. If there's a movie that I think would appeal to me, but I'll watch it. But if it's something that I don't think would appeal to me, for one way or another, like there are a couple of movies, like there's one with Ryan Reynolds, and I really want to see it because it's got Ryan Reynolds, but it's the one where he's buried alive. I think it's called Buried Alive.
I think it's called Buried Alive.
And I will not see that because I have an intense phobia of that.
So does Luther. Like, so funny. We just talked about that the other night.
Like it is. I've dreamed that before, and I've woken up in cold sweats. The last time I did that, I ended up staying awake for 36 hours after that dream because I could not allow myself to go back to sleep. And it's not good. So I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm a fan of the genre, but I have more of an appreciation for it now.
I was guessing you were going to say yes and no. I was guessing you were going to say no, like I'm not like going to be like this huge horror junkie, but being forced to kind of look at the content.
Yeah.
Like you have like a new
And really thinking about it, like there's a lot of things in horror that I am a fan of. Like I'm a fan of certain authors like Edgar Allan Poe, H.P. Lovecraft, Stephen King. I love reading the stories. Yeah. The movies, it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I don't seek them out. And I can appreciate them for the art form that they are. I can appreciate them for the stories that they provide. And there's some that I'm very interested in, but not necessarily interested in seeing them. If that makes sense. Like, Candyman. I actually have never seen Candyman. I don't really have much of a desire to watch it. However, I do. One of the authors that you had on, Rhonda, talked about Candyman and the representation and whatnot, and I think that's really cool. I think that's awesome for an art form. Mm-hmm. I just don't think that I have the desire to sit down and watch it, because I like watching things that bring me joy, that entertain me, and I just don't. I don't know if it would entertain. It definitely would not bring me joy, but I don't know if it would entertain me in that way. But it's okay. It really is okay.
It's just like everything. It's just like every other genre. Not everybody likes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Rom-coms or whatever.
And I would hate to start watching horror and find out that I'm a huge fan of A24.
Yeah, so that's our getting to know Mike video.
So
happy birthday!
Thank you, and I'm sure y'all learned a lot more about me than you ever wanted to know.
For those of you who asked questions, thanks.
Yes, thank you to Tasha and Steve and Angel. And Adam.
Oh, Adam's a mess. Tasha and I are always like, God, it'd be so much cooler if he'd done so far away, because he's so funny. It really is very funny.
So you'll see me on the 16th, and then in early October when
at least
when I edit the videos and put them up for
Mothman.
Yeah,
that's gonna be such a project,
dude. It's gonna be insane, because we're going to Mothman in West Virginia
for 3. We're gonna be gone for 3 days,
and I don't know why we planned this. We planned the drive up very well. We're gonna take 2 days, and we're gonna come back on the same day. We're gonna make the entire trip on one day, apparently. Oh, we might have to look at that.
Taking Tasha, you mean, and coming home?
Yeah, because we're coming back from West Virginia through Tennessee, and
I have to take that Monday off.
Maybe.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of footage.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of footage. And then the next weekend, I'm going to Alabama for a barbershop convention. So, I'm going to be gone for an entire weekend and then gone for another entire weekend.
Yeah.
And then it'll be spooky season. So, I think we're gonna have some cool stuff coming up on the spooky season.
I hope we're gonna have to get to writing and getting some stuff set up soon. But yeah. So look forward to the live, and then all the other videos that are coming up on the channel, and also podcasts. Can't forget my podcast folks. Who do enjoy. I actually do like listening to podcasts on my drives into work. It works, and I think this next one. So this week after we record this is an unboxing. So the podcast will actually have a bonus episode.
Cool. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then so we're gonna have some cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope you enjoyed. I should know this outro by now. Mm-hmm. Hope you have a good week. Mm-hmm. Good rest of your week. Mm-hmm. And we'll see you in the next one.
Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your week and have a good weekend. Something to that effect.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and have a good weekend, and we'll see you in the next one. All right. That was lame.
Something like that.
Yeah. Okay, bye.